Many people believe that we have a purpose, as if we had been brought to Tartarus for some reason. But they're deceiving themselves. Trust me, emissary. Will is the only thing that matters. It creates the hunger, aspiration, and the ability to challenge the island, to find a true desire. So, tell me, emissary, why are you here? What is your wish?
People that are just like me. The same kind of hellraisers. We fight savagely with each other on the garbage dumps. Like to the death. We fight for the loot. You can end up dead anywhere. Literally kicking the bucket in the closest ditch. Keep your eyes wide open. Otherwise they'll chew you to pieces. There are plenty of monsters around here. And it just so happens that the most dangerous of them walk on two legs. In general, you're better off roaming around the island with your own people. Your buddies will be there to help if something happens. However, there are even scarier creatures dwelling here. Creepy experiments. Monsters capable of putting dozens of our brothers in their graves. Run away from those kinds. As far as you possibly can.
Afghanistan has changed you a lot, Uncle. It must be exhausting to carry such a burden on you. To feel the endless pain and endure the nightmares of such chaos you have survived. But you, just like the others, only wanted a happier life, isn't it so? Please don't look at me as I am some monster. I think I'm not different from you at all. Please tell me, Uncle. Do you accept the rules of the island? Which price are you willing to pay to find your happiness?
Do you want to make a new raid on the burial grounds? It's impossible right now. The war will soon rage on the island. The Istoviki are fucking up with the brigade, and nobody is going to support us anymore. There is no Soviet army left. We're on our own now. Our only chance is to gather the remnants of Vimple anew. Listen, Reaper, far from every one of ours is dead. It's a suicide mission, and to complete it, we need our mates. Yeah, they probably won't like it, but we have to find them anyway.
You see, I'm not mad at you. No, we're not the enemies. You just don't understand me and the island. You look at me, you look at the other children of the island as we are your enemies. But we all are just afraid of each other. That's why we feel so bad. That's why we feel so lonely. The island has given us a chance to build a new and wonderful life.
The island is isolated by an anomaly. Secondly, brutal gangsters, tough guys like you and me are at the helm right now. Do you understand the deal? I need the people who are ready to do the toughest things. Crazy sort of men like me and you. And you now are just my borrower. So, my dear comrade, are you ready to pay your debt?
The storm has gone, and skies have returned to the regular colors, but the endless storm that took our island into blockade still remains. Yes, the storm doesn't disappear to this day. As survivors, we have somehow adjusted to new ways. We have rebuilt fortifications, shelters. We continue to explore the island and still look for solutions and reasons, but there is always a lot of destruct and hatred among us.
The island is inhabited by all sorts of scum. Estivakis are local freaks out of tribes. Brigaders are, like former Soviet deserters. There are also all sorts of moronic fanatics, kinds of gangs, abnormal creatures, mutated animals, and some real
You're listening to a direct report of the events that I'm experiencing at the moment. Several weeks ago, Station Number 2 and Station Number 1 became the sources of uncontrollable bursts of energy. There was a malfunction on Station Number 2 as a result of a reactor explosion on Station Number 1. To anyone who can hear me, welcome. By the time you listen to this recording, I will most likely be dead. My name is no longer important. I am the former head of security for Station Number 2. My code name is Sumrak.
Very well. Not every form of consciousness can have bodies like we're used to. Life can come in the form of a stone, or sand, or even something scattered in the air.
Oh, I can hear the good old radon beeping. It's not a bad detector at first, but it can be inaccurate if there is more than one anomaly nearby. Basically, once you get enough hexes, I recommend you buy a better one.
Rumor has it that when the first tide came, the rogue wastelands were altered by something similar to a huge laser ray.
To put it simply, artifacts are bundles of energy. Artifacts are extremely rare, and their activation in the wrong hands can lead to disastrous consequences.
We tried to give you a chance, but your stubbornness doesn't leave us any other choice.
Soon, I will be able to break free from the shackles.
Now, you will die. The power of the tides will destroy you.
Tartarus, a miserable island overcome by disaster. Your depths hold rotten legacy of hopes we left there long ago. Now you are an open wound, infested and endangering life itself. That's where we will bring our people. We will follow our way to preserve everything still left. The expedition will carry on.
Tartarus can be nominally divided into two parts. The left one is where people have established their settlements. New communities appear there, as well as new trade routes and conflicts. This is where the main storyline unfolds, and PvE locations are situated. You will start here. This part of Pioneer is an adventure game with minimum MMO elements. We put a lot of efforts in our level design and use the best practices of narrative in dialogues. Moreover, we've created a special game mode where other players cannot interfere with you or your party playing. Oh yes, quests can be completed single-handedly or with friends. You can even have a dialogue with an NPC as a party.
Explore the regions and gather info about the world and its mysterious past. Rest in any of the settlements, spending time in bars or playing mini-games. Trade for resources and try to gather as much as you can. Pioneer has progression levels, and after each level up, you get 1 skill point to spend on upgrading your character. This can make playing easier, but without creating builds, you won't have that big of an advantage on the battlefield. Yes, your armor and weapons itself are quite more important. Upgrading and efficiently using your equipment is what actually shows your progress through the game.
Чё, ты выпендривались? Нечего было выёживаться.
Just like certain monster slayer, a skillful character in Pioneer needs 2 guns. One for killing monsters and another for punishing teammates or, rarely, other players. You can enhance your weapons or modify your equipment on the workbench, but every step of it consumes resources. Weapons can be modified more comprehensively by upgrading a submachine gun to a machine gun, for example, or by just adding modules which increase your weapon stats on the move. Upgrading the most interesting and powerful equipment demands unique blueprints and resources. And that's the catch. The rarest of the loot can be found only on the right part of the island. The right part of the Pioneer Island consists of 2 regions, the Midlands and Shadowlands. These territories are home to PvP PVE zones and clan wars. The gameplay here feels more like survival. Another player encountered here is likely to be an enemy, and the local creatures are decidedly more dangerous and ferocious. These 2 regions lack quests and are much less forgivable with regard to the players. You can lose all the resources you've spent time and effort gathering. At the same time, your death in a regular PvE zone will cost you just some polish on your equipment and a little bit of your pride. Your typical gameplay on the right part of the island looks something like this. You're gathering resources or joining your clan members to seize the production point. When you've gathered enough, you're trying to reach a safe zone using one of the suggested paths. Along the road, you're exploring some more unexplored places. Also, there are no guides on the right part of the island, so no fast travel for you. By the way, fast travel in Pioneer is possible with the help of the guides only. Oh, the Holy Awakening. Is my valuable customer finally awake? We found you in the middle of a new tide, and your caravan was destroyed. You were surrounded by a bunch of little blue lights.
Каждый перегон я изнываю от страха. Работа караванщика нелегка.
It is extraordinary that you survived the attack of the tide. It would have turned anyone in your place into a fallen or a pile of ashes. But as you see, that didn't happen to you. You are safe and sound.
So, Rookie, how are you feeling? Are you ready to prove yourself worthy? I only need those in high spirits, you know what I mean? Bright-eyed specialist in anything and everything. I'm sick and tired of whining old bastards. The role of an emissary is just a cover. What I really need is an agent. Research, observe, kill, interrogate, strike deals, make arrangements. That's your part in our difficult task.
For some unknown reasons, you may possess abilities similar to ours, and would like to check it.